Hello everyone, today we're learning Bobekama Kuf Tes Zayin. We're going to start on Kuf Tes Vav on the base, about 10 lines up. Omar Mar, we learned to Veshemen lo yasek en mifnei hefsed kohen. So we learned in the Brisa early on that a Levi who has 10 barrels of Tevel Tome and one of them broke, so you can make that one Trumas Maisa on the other 9. And we said that's by wine, but by shemen you shouldn't do that because hefsed kohen, because the shemen, even though it's tome, you can use it for adloka, and therefore if you're going to give it that one to the kohen, the one that's broken, you're causing the kohen to be mafsid because he could have used it for adloka for lighting candles, and now he can't use it. But wine, he's not losing anyway because he has nothing to use with the wine, because it's Thomas. Says the Gemara, Maishno Shemen, what's the difference? The Shemen Deroy Ladlik, they can use it for lighting. Yain Nami Roy Leziluf. Yain, you can use it to spray around your house to make a nice smell. If you're going to tell me Ziluf Lav Milsi, Ziluf is not really considered anything worthy. It's something, doesn't have a lot of value. Shmuel said in the name of Reb Chia, Shoisi Miluk Besela. If you could find wine that cost a lug, for one lug, let's say a liter, that cost a seller, it's okay to buy that wine even though that it's cheap. But if you want to use ziluf, miluk bestein, you should buy more expensive wine that costs 2 seller for a lug. So we could see ziluf is even worth more than drinking it. So why do we say there's no hefsed kohen when this broken barrel of wine you're going to give trumas ma'aser to the kohen? He's losing all the ziluf. So the Gemara, we're talking about with new wine, and new wine doesn't have a good smell, so you can't do ziluf. The reason why you spray this wine around the house is to make a nice smell. It doesn't have a nice smell. As the Gemara, you could keep it for a few years till it gets nice and old, and then you'll have a good smell. So the Gemara also since it's tome and you're going to have it hanging around for a few years, you might use it for drinking, and it's tome, you're not allowed to drink it. As the Gemara, shemen nami also takola. By oil, you also come takola. How could you use it to keep it for lighting with it, making candles, and you might use it for cooking? So the Gemara, the manach bekleimos. You put it in a keli that's small, so when you see the keli, you say, "Oh, I'm never going to use this oil for cooking." Ask the Gemara, yain nami monach lebekleimos. So why can't I put the wine in a bad, not nice keli, and then you won't think of drinking from it? So the Gemara, ashtel zeluf kuboy. You wanted to have it to ziluf, to have a nice smell. Beklimos kamanachle. You'll put it in a disgusting keli. It's going to not smell good. The whole idea that it should smell good. Says the Gemara, takola atzmo, the din of takola. If you have something that's tome, if you choishesh for takola or not, it's tanoi, it's a machloites tanoi. In the Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, chovish shel yain shel truma shenitmes, a barrel of wine that's truma that became tome, and now you can't drink it. Pour it all out, because we don't want to keep it around till it might have a takola and you might drink from it, and you can't use it for ziluf. No, you could do it ziluf, no problem, and we know choishesh for takola. Omar Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi, ani achriya, I'll be machriya between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Depends. If it's babayis, if it's in the house, tasa ziluf, use it for ziluf. Basode, if it's in the field, tishofech hakoil, because until you take it home, you might by mistake drink from it. You might come lidei takola. So he wants to pass in something like an agreement between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai. It depends when. Sometimes you go like Beis Shammai, and sometimes you go like Beis Hillel. So the Gemara, and another way, some people say that Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yossi, explained a type of an agreement between the two. Biyoshon, if it's old wine, tasa ziluf, because it's ready to go. But if it's new wine, you should pour it all out, because until you make it old, you might come lidei takola. Amruloi, they told Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi, Ein achra shlishis machras. Your shitta is not paskening between three, because there is a din, if there's a machloikes between two tanoim, Yovoy ashlishi ve'achra beneim, and then the third shitta goes with one of these shittas. So you go with the roiv, you go with the shitta who holds, so let's say one Tana says A, the other Tana says B, and the third Tana also says B, so we say B. But they told him, in your case, that's not the case, because what you're saying, you're not saying no like Beis Shammai, no like Beis Hillel. They never mentioned the difference between old wine and new wine, inside the house, outside the house. So your shitta is a whole new shitta. So we don't paskin necessarily like you. It's not like you're saying halacha is like Beis Hillel or halacha like Beis Shammai. Says the Gemara, we learned in the Mishnah, so we had two cases in the Mishnah, that a guy was going with a barrel of wine and he poured his barrel of wine to save the other guy's honey, so he only gets paid like a poil. And if he told him, but if he told him before he poured his own wine, I'll save your honey, but pay me my wine, he gets paid. And a similar case with the donkeys. Said the Gemara, and we said he gets paid all his wine that he poured out. Asked the Gemara, why is it so? The guy with the honey should say, I was kidding with you. I wanted you to save my honey, but I didn't really want to pay you all the wine that you poured out. Miloi Tanya, have we not learned and someone was running away from jail, and he came to a river, and there is like a boat that takes him over the river, and he's desperate to get across before they come and catch him. And he told the owner of this boat, Toildina, I'll pay you a big sum of money, and take me across the river very fast. And he did so. He only has to pay him how much you'd pay for private crossing. He doesn't have to pay him the full dinner. That's a very extreme amount of money for such a job. Alma, we could see, he could say, yeah, I said I'll give you a dinner because I'm running away from jail, but I'm not going to pay you more than the value. Ochenami also over here, when he poured the barrel of wine, the person of the honey should tell him, I don't really mean I'll pay you the full value of your wine you poured. So the Gemara, no, our case of the barrel of wine and the honey is not doing it to the case we just said from the guy running from jail. It's doing it to the sefer of that case. What's the sefer? It says, if you told the ship owner, the boat owner, take this dinner for your work, and we're going to see in a second what's the difference. Vavranian crossed me the water, and he crossed him, then he has to pay him the full dinner he promised him. And what's the difference between the Reisha and the Sefer? It's talking about that the ship owner, his job is not only to cross people the river or the part of the ocean, he's also fishing. In the second case in the Sefer, the ship owner says, listen, I'm fishing now, you want me to cross you the river? No problem, pay me the dinner, the full amount. And therefore, if you agreed on it, he has to pay the full dinner, because if not, he says, listen, if I wouldn't cross you now, I would fish, and maybe I'd catch fish worth for dinner. So therefore, also by us, that's more doimah to our case, that because of him being matil the honey, he lost all his wine. He had to pour all his wine. So it's like him losing the fish. And it's not similar to the case of the Reisha, where the guy was sitting and doing nothing in the meantime, so he only pays him for the normal price for doing the job, and not the extreme price that he promised him. The Mishnah goes on to another case. Reuven and Shimon's donkeys go washed away from the river. Reuven's donkey is worth 100, and Shimon's donkey is worth 200. And then Reuven, instead of saving his own donkey, saves Shimon's donkey. He only gets paid like a worker. And if he told Shimon, listen, I'm going to save your 200 donkey and you pay me my 100 donkey, and he agrees, so he gets paid his full 100 of his donkey. So said the Gemara of Etzricha, we need these two cases, of the case that we just mentioned and the case of the barrel of wine and the barrel of honey. If you'd only tell you the din of kamaisa, the din of the barrels of the honey and the wine, also in the case where he said, I'm going to pour my wine out, and save yours. And you pay me my wine, yoivli domi. Then the person of the honey has to pay him for the wine he lost. Kule, everything. Why? Mishum di'obodayin composite. I literally poured out the wine to save your honey. So he gets paid. But if you'd only say this case, you'd say, Aval Hocha, in the last case, the Mimela, that the guy, Reuven, who saved Shimon's donkey, his donkey, he didn't push it into the river to save Shimon's donkey. His donkey was anyway going to get lost. So maybe in that case, maybe Shimon only has to pay him as a worker who saves his donkey, but not the full value of Reuven's donkey. That's why we need to write the sefer of the two donkeys. Shimon and sefer, if you'd only write the case of the donkeys, then you'd say in such a case, if you didn't come to any agreement, he doesn't get, Reuven only gets paid for his work for saving Shimon's donkey, but not the full value of Reuven's donkey. Why? Mishum de Mimela. Because why should Reuven get paid his donkey? His donkey was anyway going to be lost, so he saved Shimon's donkey. He gets paid for a worker who saves your donkey, no more than that. Aval Hosama, in the case of the barrels, Dibiodain, that literally Reuven poured his wine away to save Shimon's honey, so there's more of a svar, he should get paid for his wine. Maybe even if they never came to agreement, Reuven gets paid all the wine he poured away. That's why we need to tell you also the case of the barrel of wine and barrel of honey, and not only the case of the donkeys. Rav Kahana asked the Shaila to Rav, Yorad la'atzil v'olo shaloi me'elov ma'u. What's the day Reuven went and saved Shimon's donkey? And Reuven, before he did so, he said, listen, Shimon, I'll save your donkey, but I want you to pay me my donkey. And Reuven went and saved Shimon's donkey. But now, a few minutes later, Reuven's donkey, in some miraculous way, came out the river by itself. So Reuven never even lost his donkey. Does Shimon still need to pay Reuven for his donkey or not? Amalei, so Rav told Rav Kahana, Mishamai Rachimole. They had Rachamim from Shemayim to save Reuven's donkey. He won the lottery. He gets paid from Shimon, and also he got saved. That his donkey also came out. He was Zoichem in a Hefka type of thing. And therefore he still gets paid from Shimon. Yehoda of Safra, like the story of Safra Abakos in B'Shairosa, he was going in a caravan with a bunch of people from place to place. Levino Ari. So Rashi explains, not like I would think to explain, but Rashi explained that this lion was going with them to protect them from other people, from robbers and from other animals to harm their animal that they were going with. Every night, the agreement was that every day Reuven on day one gives his donkey to the lion to eat, and then Shimon on day two gives his donkey to the lion to eat, so the lion has what to eat, and it was worth it to save all the other animals. And the lion would eat the donkey. When it was the turn of Safra to give his donkey, he gave his donkey to the lion, and the lion never ate Rav Safra's donkey. Kodim Rav Safra v'zocha beis. Rav Safra quickly went and took his donkey, and he said, I'm zoicha from the Hefka. I gave it to the lion didn't eat it, it's mine again. Omalei Rav Acha medif to Ravina. So Rav Acha medif to ask Ravina, lomoli lemiski bei. Why did Rav Safra need to be zoicha it again? As if it was Hefka. Very good, he gave it to the lion, and he gave up on it. Adated the Arya Afkari, only on that the lion is going to eat it. Adated the Kula Almeloy Afkari, what a mafkari to the whole world. It doesn't mean that when he gave it to the lion to eat, if someone would grab it from the lion, he could keep it. No, it wasn't mafkari. He gave it specially to the lion to eat, and if the lion never ate it, it's back his automatically. Why did he need to be zoicha? Omalei Rav Safra, Rav Chademil Sudovad. The Enochinami Rav Safra didn't need to be zoicha again. But he just did it that no one should say, oh, it's Hefka and I'm zoichin it. He did it that no one should complain. But we could see from here that we could say no one has a tainen against Rav Safra and says, oh, Reuven gave it on Sunday, Monday Shimon gave his donkey, Tuesday Rav Safra gave his donkey, and the lion never ate his donkey, so therefore Rav Safra has to pay towards the donkeys of Reuven and Shimon. No, we say Mishamayim Rachim Alei. They had Rachmal for Shemaim, and the lion never ate his donkey, so also by us, This guy gets paid from Shimon his donkey that was going to drown because he left it and saved Shimon's donkey, and then Mishamayim Rachim Alei, and he also got his donkey back naturally in a miraculously way. Boy, mine Rav Mirebi, Rav asked the Shailen Rebbe, what's the din? Yorad la'atzir v'lo yitzir. Mahu. Reuven went to save Shimon's donkey, and meanwhile Reuven's donkey is getting pulled by the river and he's not giving it any attention. And he never managed to save Shimon's donkey, and now Reuven's donkey and Shimon's donkey, they're both gone. Does Shimon still need to pay Reuven or not? Do we say Reuven, tried his best, or do we say, no, at the end of the day, he didn't save my donkey? Is this a kasha? Is this a sofek? He gets paid like a poel who tried doing the work for you, and they managed to do the work for you. He gets paid hourly for such a job. But at the end of the day, he didn't save my donkey, so you don't get paid the full amount, the full 100 of Reuven's donkey. ACV asked him a kasha. It says, a poel, someone who rented a worker, la'ovi kruv dur moskin, to bring cabbage, or durmoskin is a type of different vegetable, lachoyle, for a sick person. So Reuven rented Shimon, told Shimon, I'll pay you to go get me these vegetables for this person. I have here Levi, my brother, who's sick, and I need these vegetables. Vaholach, Shimon went, umotzo, and by the time he came back, umotzo shemei so she'ivri, by the time he came back, Levi was dead, or he became better, and he doesn't need these medicines anymore. Reuven has to pay Shimon the full amount he agreed, and he can't tell Shimon, oh, I don't need this anymore. So Lechor also over here, Shimon agreed to pay Reuven 100 for saving Shimon's donkey. Reuven didn't manage, should also get paid fully. Can you compare the two cases? Awesome. The messenger Shimon went and bought a vegetable and he did his job. It's none of his business what happened to the choile, if he died or got better. What he was told to do, he did. He should get paid. Over here, the shliach didn't do his job. He was meant to save Shimon's donkey. Reuven didn't save Shimon's donkey, so therefore he only gets paid like a worker. He doesn't get paid the full value of his Reuven's donkey. That's a high amount. Tonu Rabbanon learned Shayora, a caravan that was going in the desert. The Omad guys the Torah, and came as robbers to take away their money. And now they paid them money instead of that the guy should take all their money away from them. They came to agreement. They told them, listen, we'll give you money and leave us alone. And so they did. And now the Teshaila is how do you calculate between all the people of the caravan how much each one should pay. So says the Gemara, so let's say there was 10 people in this caravan, and they paid off to the robbers £1,000 to let them go. And now Reuven had with him £10,000 in his wallet, and Shimon, Levi, etc. until number 10 all had only £1,000. So there's two ways how to look at it. You could say, oh, we are calculate by person, and therefore they paid £1,000. Each one has to pay £100. So the Gemara, no, mechashmeli for moment. You see how much each one of them had money, and then you calculate it and you break it out. And therefore, since Reuven had this money like all the other 9, he had even 1,000 more because all the other 9, each one had 1,000, that's 9,000, and he has 10,000. So he has to pay just over half of the £1,000 they paid the robbers. He has to pay 500 and change. And the rest, they all split together. Because what were they going to lose? Their money. So each one had a different stake in the story. If they rented someone to show them the way and they paid the money, so how do they calculate who should pay him how much? They calculate both, also nefoshes and also how many people they are. And I think the Rashba said they do half. Let's say they paid this guy the £1,000 and there are 10 people. So you first calculate the first half by 10 people, £500, each one pays 50, and the other 500 depend how much each money had on how much each one of them had money on him. And the reason is because Ataya someone who shows them the way, saves them also that the robbers shouldn't steal their money, and therefore you calculate how much each one money had, and also he saves them for not going to a bad place where they could die. So he saves them also from nefashos. That's why he calculated also nefashos and also moment. So the Gemara, B'lo yishanu miminhag hachamorim. Whoever the minig is for the caravan leaders, whoever their minig is how to organize all these payments, don't change from that. That means what we told you now that this is how you should do it is not always that's how you should do it. If the minig is different, you should do lefi the minig. Rashoim hachamorim, the leaders of the caravan, is to make it night. If a caravan of a bunch of people are going on the way and someone loses his donkey, that everyone is obligated to give that person a new donkey, that they're all connected in the same pot. If one person loses a donkey, they all have to pay in. Because if this person lost his donkey, bepshia, you don't have to pay him for a new donkey. If it wasn't bepshia, you do need to give him a new donkey. If the guy who lost his donkey said, Nuli, give me the money, the value of the donkey, and I'm going to buy the donkey later, I'm going to use it for something else, and I'll guard with you all the animals over here, even though I don't have a donkey, I'll guard with you. Don't worry, that I don't have a donkey, I'll still stay up at night to guard the animals. You don't listen to him, and we tell him, no, we'll give you back a new donkey, but we're not giving you the money because we want you to be part, really have a stake in the pot. So the Gemara, Pshita, what's the chiddush? Obviously they want him to be part of the pot and they don't trust him to do shmira as good if you won't have a donkey. So the Gemara, we need to tell you this thing. This guy who lost his donkey and he wants now a money for, instead of getting a new donkey, he has another donkey. He had two donkeys. One of them got lost or got stolen or something. And now he says, instead of giving me a new donkey that got lost, give me money. And he says, I anyway have a donkey. He's anyway going to do proper shmira because he has a donkey still, even if they'll give him cash. If you have two donkeys in the pot, you'll be guarding better if you have only one donkey in the pot, and therefore we're going to give you back a donkey, we're not going to give you the cash. Rabbanon learned a ship that was going in the ocean. A big wave with winds came to sink it. And they threw part of what's on the ship into the ocean to make the ship lighter, that it shouldn't sink. So you calculate by the weight and not by the money. So let's say there were two people on the ship and one had a ton of gold and the other one had a ton of copper. So you don't say, okay, each one has to throw the same value, and therefore 10 grams of, one throws 10 grams of gold and the other one has to throw half a ton of copper. No, you say that what depends here, the ocean doesn't care about the value of the items, it cares about the weight. If it's lighter, less chance it sinks the ship. Therefore, you calculate by the weight and you don't calculate by the value. If the ship leaders have a certain minig how to calculate these things, follow it. The ship owners could make at night, the people who take the ship, anyone, if the ship owner lost his boat, it sank or something, that the people who are taking the ride have to pay for a new boat. If the guy who was leading the boat lost his boat and he was bipshia, they don't have to give him a new boat, a new ship, because he was pishia. If it wasn't bipshia, if it wasn't bipshia, they do have to give him a new ship. If this boat leader took the boat into a place where normally ships don't go, you don't have to give him a new ship because it was his fault. Why did he go to a place where no one goes? So the Gemara, Pshita, obviously that's Pshia, going to a place where he shouldn't be going. So the Gemara, no, I do need this chiddush. In Nisan, where it's at the end of the river, at the end of the winter, so the river's very full with water and deep. They'd keep away from the sides of the river one length of a rope. Tishrei, and in Tishrei, where it's at the end of the summer, where the river is much more shallow, they'd keep away 2 lengths of a rope from the side of the river. And he was going in the days of Nisan. Tishrei, to the depth of the river, 2 lengths of rope away, and therefore the river is much more deep, and therefore it was too deep for the ship, and the ship sank. You might think Davsha Nokit Va'adil, he's going in the place where he's used to go. That's where he always goes in Tishrei, and therefore it's not considered a pshia, and therefore the people will have to give him a new ship. Kamash Malo, no, that's called the pshia, because on Nisan you shouldn't be going to such deep waters. Rabbanon learned Shayora Shoisam Aleches Bamidbo, a caravan that was going in the desert. Va'omad Gais, and robbers came with Torfa, and they stole from them lots of stuff. Va'omad Echad Mehem, and one of them stood up, the Itzil, and he saved a bunch of stuff from these robbers. Itzil Emtza, what he saved, you take it to the middle, and each one, you don't say he saved it and it all goes to him. No, each one gets his items back, whatever he saves. If it used to belong to Reuven gets it back to Shimon, etc. If he told them, guys, I'm going to save, it's all going to be mine, it all goes to him. So the Gemara, what the case are we talking about? If the other people could also save these items from the robbers, even when he said, I'm saving it for myself, it should be split between everyone, whoever belonged to, because they also could have saved it. If it's impossible to be matzil, and he somehow did it, or maybe he's very strong, or he had some miraculous way that he managed, even if he never said that it should all go to himself, it should go all to himself, it should go to himself, because it's already like already they stole it, it's too late, he can't save it. Omar Rami Bar Chomer, says Rami Bar Chomer, I'll tell you what we're talking about. Over here it's talking about B'shutfim Askinan. It's talking about that the people on the carriage, on the caravan, were shutfim, they were partners in this item that got stolen. And it's talking about, Rashi explains, doesn't matter, bein yochel atzil b'dei atchak, bein yochel atzil, bein en yochel atzil. And Omar, if he said, I'm going to save it for myself, polik. Basically, when he said, I'm going to save it to myself, he's basically telling the other people, I'm not shutuf anymore with you. This is my part. And therefore, what he saved, it's for his chelik, and he keeps a chelik by himself. Lo yomar, if he never said that I'm going to be matzil only for myself, Loi polig, he never split up the shutfus, and therefore he's doing the mission for everyone, because it's very normal that when a person has a shutfus, sometimes he does something to save the whole shutfus for everyone. Rava Omar, different teretz. It's talking about the guy who saved it from the robbers. He was a worker of the people of the caravan. And it's talking about he was a worker of the people of the caravan. Ukirav, and it's like Rav who said, Omar Rav, that you got a worker to work for you full day, and after half day he wants to go stop working, he could stop his work and go do his own stuff. So also over here, if he didn't say anything, so he's doing his job, he's their poil, so therefore it goes la'emtza. Masha'enken, if he said la'atzmi, I'm saving for myself, he's basically telling them, I'm not your worker, and once you say he's not your worker, he has the right to stop being his worker, and therefore he's matzil min ha'hefka, because it's talking about here, Rashi explains, in a case where they can't save it, therefore he's matzil min ha'hefka, so therefore it belongs to him, because he's not their worker anymore. Okay, so says the Gemara, Omar Rav Amachu bepoeli maskina. Rav, Omar Rav poeli yochel achzer bo afilu bechetze yom. He could stop working with a notice. The kama de lehoda brei. If he didn't say la'atzmi kibur shusi de balabais domi, he's doing the work for the people in the caravan, and therefore la'emtza. And when he does say la'atzmi, and he's saying, I'm not your workers anymore, I'm not your worker anymore, the reason why he could do it is because of a different reason. And the reason is, because it says in the Pasuk, Kilib ne Yisrael avodim, that the Jews are avodim of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. V'lo avodim la'avodim, and they're not slaves to other people, meaning that if they're a worker, that's a type of slavery they can get out of it in the middle of the day, and they say, I'm not your worker anymore. Rav Ashi says in Nupshat how to explain this. It's talking about where the robbers stole the stuff, and you could save it, and you could save the items, but not easily. So, if he said, I'm saving it for myself, and no one said anything about that, so basically they were misyayish from it, because the only way they could be matter the adchak, obviously they were misyayish, and they let him take it to himself, and therefore it goes to himself. If he never said that it's only for himself, because he never said that it's for himself, so they all believe that he's saving it for everyone, and therefore it goes for everyone. We're going to continue the Mishnah next year. Thank you very much. Everyone should have a very happy day, a very blessed day, a very simchas day, and we should be zoicha for a big v'na'ah poichu.